So I was working in bookkeeping for about 15 years. My previous employment, as I was taking over the lady's position, she had asked me would I do payroll. And we just used a software package, and really it was just like data entry. But to me, that was kind of my level of understanding as payroll. I got made redundant then in August of last year. And the jobs that I was applying for was bookkeeper payroll. And every job that I had applied for specified that you had to have the IPASS accreditation. So whether I had experience or not, it didn't matter. I wanted IPASS. So I got onto IPASS. I said, okay, what steps do I need to take? I really need to do this course. Great. First book came out, nice and thick, but it's so comprehensive because I thought payroll was really just putting in people's hours. The software would calculate holidays. I didn't realise, there's legislation and tax and compliance. So I did the course online. It just suited me lifestyle, kids, work. Actually really enjoyed it. If I couldn't make one of the lectures on one of the evenings, I would just go and look at the pre-recorded lectures. And it was really good. Or, just kind of to test yourself, there was quizzes and you could see how well you were doing, go back over the answers. So I actually really enjoyed it. It was more beneficial. And then coming closer to the exams, well, it's always there, but I would look closer to the exams, not to stress myself out, but there would be the pre-recorded questions and how you would go do the questions and on the time frame that you would have to do them. So you're kind of getting putting yourself under that kind of exam pressure to do the exam in a certain time and see how it was done, and you can watch it back, go over again. So I really benefited from doing the course online. Well, absolutely, because it's not just that, bring it back to yourself, and you should know how your taxes are. You should know, what tax credits are available to you, what tax brackets you should be in. Just for everyday life, I do think that we should all know about taxes because we're all mostly employed. And for me, for any job that I wanted or for any career that I wanted to progress into, I had to have the IPASS accreditation. It was specified, but I did decide to go out on my own because there was a HR element in it and that I really enjoyed, legislation, being compliant, and I've moved into HR and payroll. So I've really kind of changed from bookkeeping to payroll and HR. Absolutely. As soon as I passed, I wanted the initials. I wanted the AIPA. Obviously, I wanted to have the logo, so once you get the membership, then it's on my signature, my email signature, it's on my invoices. I'm wearing that with pride. And everybody says the payroll book, they call it the Bible. So I'm really looking forward for the one for 2025. I held off for 2025 because the budget and changes. So yeah, I'm so glad that I'm a member. Absolutely, because look, there's a lot of legislation, and you do have to know statutory obligations, and you just want to make sure you're right. There's very little room for error in payroll and HR, like I said. So sometimes I've second guessed myself, and I would just ring up and straight away, I can answer them with confidence. Yeah, it just gives you that little bit of extra confidence in your answer, and that you're pointing somebody in the right direction. Yeah, well, for me, like I said, I do bookkeeping as well. Now I am going to do the payroll manager course. Absolutely looking forward to doing that. But not just that, then there's the online training and the open days and keeping up with legislation, because it's just an ever-evolving landscape. And then like that, they do have tax training and VAT. So I'm going to avail of all those courses, and especially being a member, they're discounted. So I'm super going to do everything, and it's just great being a member and having those supports there.